All right, let's make some Gridfinity boxes. So first thing we need is the calibration sheet, A4 US. I never actually tried the US one, but the A4 one works well. So I printed that out. If you see that center tag there on mine, that won't be on yours. It's not needed anymore. And we're gonna do this butane torch here. So this fits into a 3x2 Gridfinity bin pretty well, as you can see. Although I've deliberately chosen something that's a bit of a tight fit. You know, you can't move it up and down very much, or left and right. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. Make sure we get the dimensions right. And I'm going to place it over this tag here so we don't see it, and take the photo. And now we upload that. Now, that happened pretty quickly there. We're already on step 3. Step 2 was match the tags. So that happened kind of instantly. But if we go back, we can see here is the original image we uploaded, and it found those tags and then rectified the view to this. Already moved on automatically to step 3. So here, all I want to do is just click on the object, click on that, and we can see, you know, there's a little bit of the shadows that got caught up here. It's not totally perfect, but it's pretty good. So next we want to refine the mask. And so we got the mask here, and we see this shadow. You know, we can pull this one in a little bit. First thing I like to do is look at the simplification. So we can choose, if we pick a low value, then we've got tons of points on this outline. If we pick a very high value, there's not so many. So depending on your object, you know, this is a pretty simple object, so I'm going to go to a pretty simple view here. And I think for a lot of models, this would probably be fine to be getting on with, but I'll show you some of the other features here. So of course we can zoom in, pan, we can grab these nodes here and move them around and line them up a little bit better. We can also do things like this one here. If you see on the bottom, we can say make curved. So we can turn this into a curved node and adjust this curve here as you would with any kind of pen tool. You can also double click to toggle between curved and not. So let's make this one curved here. I'm kind of going a little bit overboard for demonstration purposes, but you know, we'll make sure the whole thing, we can hit delete. You can also just press the delete key here. So this looks pretty good. Okay, all right, I'm done. Well, let me just pull this out. Okay, I'm done. So I've adjusted the mask. Now, the really cool thing is this silhouette view. So first thing we have to do is calibrate our monitor. So this is a ruler, and you can hold up a ruler to the screen here and measure it. But the size of this ruler is also the same as an A4 piece of paper, which you've just used to do your calibration. So if we hold up our piece of paper, we could see that actually our paper is larger than the ruler is here. So we can go over to this slider here and adjust this scale. It's a little hard to do while holding the phone. But, you know, if we go to about 4.3, and then I hold this piece of paper up here, it's pretty close. Okay, cool. So now that we've done that, we can do verify match. Boom. If we ever need to go back, there's the recalibrate screen. But so we've edited our outline, and now the silhouette shows the silhouette of the object, right? So what we can do is we can hold up our object in real scale and see if it matches or not. I got my monitors on fancy stands, so I like to rotate them so they're almost flat, and then you can just kind of lay it on top and you can see a lot easier. I mean, I can see this is going to fit pretty well. I like to hold the camera pretty far back and see, do you get that white outline all the way around it? And this one's going to be fine. But back here, if we switch to the Gridfinity layout and look at how this will fit in our 3x2 box, we got a little bit of space. So maybe let's just bump this up to like 102%. And that looks good. We'll go back to the silhouette view, and then we'll try and line it up again. And, you know, because it's not a totally flat object, it's got rounded edges, you can see under part of the widest parts. So we really just want to hold the camera far back and see, do you get that white outline all the way around? So I hold the camera really far back and take a photo, and here's that photo, so we can see this is going to fit really well. So I'm happy with this. I'm going to go over to 3D model view. Click on that, and we've built our 3D model. So my object is about 25 millimeters actually. I think maybe like it's like 29 or something. So it'll poke out a little bit at the top, but I'd also like to add some finger holes. So if we go to finger holes, we can add in like, if we do a rectangle here, you know, we can increase the length of this, and then, you know, line this up here. And now we've added some finger holes so we can get things out. We can also adjust this from full depth to half depth. If we're doing half depth, you can see it's only going halfway down. Can do different types. You know, we got spheres here, and You know, if you wanted to do something like this, that's quite cool to be able to reach in there. All right, this looks pretty good to me. So, you know, another thing we can do is we can switch from movement to rotation, and then we can rotate the angle of this. So maybe I'll just like rotate this slightly. I don't know why. Sure, happy with that. Now, we can do export STL and download that and print it out, but there's another thing we can do, which is export test slice. So we're in Bamboo Studio here, and if I go to add my model, I can add the cutout slice, which is then just a 0.5 millimeter slice here. I'm also going to add in the actual model here in another plate and put this over there. So the idea is this is going to be 2.5 grams of filament and take 14 minutes, whereas this one's going to be 85 grams of filament and take 2 hours and 20 minutes. So if you've got a very tight fit, maybe you're not confident it's going to work, you might want to print a little test slice first. Although before I do it, I'm not sure I'm happy with these colors. So actually let's, although looking at this, 84 grams, I mean, this is just gonna sit in a drawer. So maybe let's drop this from 15% to like 5%. All right, 60 grams. Yeah, like, it's gonna sit in a drawer, you know? It's gonna be fine, so okay. Test slice printed out with that capsule finger hole thing, and we line this up, and this lines up really well, just like we knew it would, because we had the silhouette test. And, you know, it's probably gonna sit about this height on the model, so let's go print out the full one. All right. Look at that, looking really good. This just drops in here nice and easily. We got our little finger holes here. We can pull it up. Boom, 5%, plenty strong. Let's put it into our drawer here. This is a good spot for it. Nice little Gridfinity edition here. Perfect. And that took, you know, like 2 minutes to make. The website is gridfinity-cutout.pages.dev. It'll always be free. There will never be ads. The one condition is that any model you download from the site has to be licensed as Creative Commons. Because I know you people, you're going to download a million trivial Gridfinity models that took 2 seconds to generate, and then upload them to MakerWorld, and put on a standard digital license and say, this is my intellectual property, I own this, you can't touch it or modify it or share it, I forbid you from doing anything with it. Look guys, copy restrictions hurt creative people and they limit creativity. It only benefits big corporations and publishers. So no, the terms of service for this tool prohibit you from copyrighting anything that comes out of it. Thank you, goodbye.